1 year ago, this place was all grass. Now it's a garden full of food, flowers, and life everywhere you look. I'm Mari, a chef and gardener in New York, and in today's September garden tour, I will show you what is still thriving from summer, what's already set for fall, and the crops that will help carrying us into the cooler months. When I look back at where this started, it's hard to believe how much has changed in just a year. Season by season, this space has grown into something that really feeds us. It's been non-stop harvests all summer long, and now I'm excited to see how this space transitions into fall and keeps feeding us in a different way. Let's start right here at the patio first and take a look at my GreenStalks. Last September, when I moved here, the only thing I had to garden with were my GreenStalks. I love growing fall crops in the GreenStalks especially. And this one here is already all set up for the fall. I have things growing here since the spring and it's doing really good. The sweet chart's going to keep producing to us until frost. I have lots of herbs in here, some nasturtiums, parsley, lemon balm that I have to harvest, some shiso that I have to harvest. There's a little cilantro that bolted here, some basil that is struggling a bit. I might cut it off, but this one might start doing a bit better with the temperatures cooling down a bit because it struggled in the summer since it has been mostly planted all the way through the spring. Oh, I have a nasturtium flower here. It's very nice. And this one here, it's been a bit of a battle because I had a groundhog problem that kept eating the things that I planted on it. But I just recently replanted the back. Over here I have lots of peppers. There are lots of little jalapenos just developing in here, and I have some of these corbachi peppers too. They're supposed to get a bit longer, and a couple more nasturtium flowers. This one here is a Brazilian pepper called malagueta. It's a little one. It's in a bird-eye chili family, and it took forever to produce. This is the first flush of flowers and peppers, so I hope that I can get some of this before our frost comes next month. And in the other side of this planter, I have just started a new set of seedlings. I direct sowed some things in here, some lettuce, and I have already tinned them. So I decided to put 1 or 2 per pocket. This is a red romaine lettuce. I also have some cilantro in the bottom because of the groundhogs too. I like to trying to keep herbs from these tiers down so they don't bother eating the stuff that I plant in there. This one here, we have lots of peppers, which I love, and I have been harvesting lots of them now in September. Finally, they started producing a little more. We did have a bit of a colder spring, which delayed them quite a bit, but now we're doing good. I've harvested a bunch this past couple weeks, but there's a lot of them. They are ready again. This is a Brazilian one too. I'm from Brazil, so I'm growing some Brazilian peppers. This is called dedo de moça or lady fingers, and it's let's say medium spice mild pepper. So I have 2 red ones here, and I harvested a bunch just last week. There's some of these puma peppers, which I love because the color of the foliage is so beautiful, this purple, and these are kind of ready to go too. They are a habanero type pepper, and they have these beautiful purple shoulders and are nice and yellow and orange, and they make really good hot sauce. So I'm gonna grab these 2 as well, leave some more in the plant, and I have some more red ones that might need a couple more days because it has some green still showing here. On this light purple one called lilac, this was a new one for this spring. I have lots of strawberries that sent some runners and are rooting in different pockets, and lots of herbs as well. This one was in a shaded spot, so it's taking a little bit more to grow, but it's finally picking up and looking good. And I'm gonna try to save seed from these strawberries in here because I started these plants with these beautiful double flowers from seed, and I plan to start some more next year too. And I hope that this plant is gonna do a little better now that I moved to this spot and it's getting a bit more sun. Oh, by the way, if you've been thinking of getting a GreenStalk, they're going to have a really big warehouse sale in October, and all of the limited edition colors will be returning. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to leave the details in the description box down below. And right here on this bed, you might have noticed that I have turned it around. This was the back what is the trellis. This is on wheels, so I can move it. And I have removed the cover and moved it around because I had direct sown some lettuce in here a couple weeks ago, but they're not really growing because they're getting shaded by everything else that was growing in this planter. So I cleaned up the planter, took all the struggling plants that were in the trellis, and I turned it around so it can get a little bit more sun for the next couple weeks. And maybe by then I'll be ready to take the rest of those bigger plants on the side there. When those turned around, those plants were shading them and they're just not growing. They stayed in the same size for a while. So now, since it's getting cold and it's getting late in the season, I'm just trying to see if I can get them a bigger head start so we can have some nice fall greens to enjoy. Now we can move to the main garden again and see how everything is doing right here. I love how this garden turned out this year. I cannot believe that there was nothing here just a year ago. This was all mostly built in May. We did start preparing the soil last fall, but all of these beds and all the structure that you see here was just built this spring. And this garden is producing really well for just being in its first year. I especially like this arch trellis. I have long beans, scarlet runner beans, and tomatoes all planted in this one trellis. That second one here was a later addition. And the plants on this one are doing so good. I have missed some beans because they have been producing a lot and I'm leaving some here to go to seed. But we have lots of them. Oh, this one is ready to harvest. That enjoy through the week. It started producing a bit more or more prolifically, let's say, when in the last few weeks when the weather started cooling down a bit. I'm not sure why, but maybe needed to get established first. But we've been eating lots of long beans. These are delicious, just sauteed with garlic or tossed into stir fries. I even put them in soups. I am going to save some seeds because this variety has been so prolific, and I have about 6 to 8 plants planted in there, so they have been mixed around a bit for more diversity. It is a F1 hybrid, so it might not be exactly how it is, but I'm sure it's still going to be really good to enjoy next year. The cherry tomatoes here are also doing really good. It's loaded with fruit, and I'm excited to get those beans here too because those were so delicious last year. I hope I have enough to make a couple recipes in the kitchen with you guys too this fall. So let's start taking a look at this bed here first. In this area I have already cleared some struggling crops and planted lots of cool weather seedlings, but the problem is these guys are really big and still are producing a lot of shade, so they haven't really grown much. So we'll see what's going to happen in this next couple of months. The rest of this bed is full of summer crops still. I have lots of tomatoes in the back. They're still producing well. The sungolds are just loving their life here too. Still lots of fruit. I have to harvest some of these orange ones. And there's some of these beautiful heart-shaped ones. Oops, called Sergeant Peppers. You can see some blight in the leaves, but they're not doing as bad as the ones that I cleared out in the back over there, if you have watched my previous video. And this bed here, the eggplant is still doing good. Let's just see, there's an eggplant here to harvest. For some reason they started producing more now that cooled down too. Than when it was super hot in the summer, so I gotta come back to harvest that. I don't have a basket with me, but every time we come here we grab a few things, which we are very grateful for. There's some peppers here too. These jalapenos are producing okay, not as good as the GreenStalk ones, but I've been harvesting some of them in the past couple this week too. And I have an eggplant in here. This is a fairy tale eggplant that did not do well this year. It just was shaded by everything else, but now decided to put tons of flowers, so maybe we'll get a quick harvest before the frost comes too. This big plant here is a lemon basil, and the bees absolutely love it. They were here all the time, especially in the morning, but now that the asters, interestingly enough, have bloomed in the back there, they have all been more interested in those beautiful asters than in the lemon basil. So I find that very curious, very nice to notice. I also have some leeks in here that I thought it was not going to produce or do anything, but they're getting a little bit bigger now that the fall is setting in. So maybe we'll be able to harvest them for Thanksgiving. That would be nice because they are cold tolerant, so I'm sure they will survive even after the frost. Same thing with all of these herbs in here. I have some rosemary in this bed and some sage in here, some oregano back there. Those are all excellent herbs to cook in the fall, and I'll start harvesting them and drying them more in these next coming weeks too. On this side over here, this bed, I have an amazing honey-nut squash that is definitely the highlight of the bed. I have lots of little fruit everywhere, some here. But the Swiss chard has also bounced back nicely once the weather started cooling off again. This was planted in the spring, but it's going to be very nice to have it in the fall too, and it's also cold tolerant, so I wonder how long this will survive here. I also have some buckwheat planted here. This is a cover crop, and I love the color of these pink ones. So I'm letting it go to seed here so I can save seed for next year and have growing everywhere in the garden, hopefully in the next season. The dahlias that I planted late are starting to bud. There's a bloom over there. Let me grab it. That's beautiful. I was not sure if they were going to bloom because it was a bit later in the season when I planted the tubers, but they are giving us some beauty in the garden. You see there's lots of honey-nut squash everywhere here too. I have already harvested a couple. This one is ready to harvest as well. The stem is turning yellow brown, and then when you put your finger you can't really see the mark of your fingernail anymore, so that's a sign that is probably ready to go. This guy here, let's see, I don't know, it feels not as hard as that little one. Oops, still can't see the fingernail, so maybe this almost a little bit, so maybe a couple more days or a week I'll come around and harvest those. These I could harvest this week if I wanted to. And here I have more leeks too that I'm going to leave for the fall, and I'm excited about them. I hope that we will get a nice harvest from it. These carrots here were planted in the spring, did nothing in the summer, and now they're picking up and growing really fast. So hopefully we also have a nice carrot harvest with lots of mushrooms in this fall too. I filled half of these beds with wood chips, so we're having lots of mushrooms happening in here, but it's nice. It means that they are decomposing, and hopefully we have even better soil for next year garden too. This kale, these baby ones are all newly planted for the fall. This is a broccoli. That one is struggling and it's defoliated. The caterpillars really started coming here and attacking it. And one of you guys gave me the idea of leaving it here as a trap crop, but I'm now afraid that I'm just incubating all of these moths that are going to transform here. So I might actually take this whole plant out because the weather will cool down next week. They start attacking my little kale too, which is sad. Let me see if I can find a caterpillar to show you guys, and I will pick them out too because I don't want them eating my kale. Kale is one of my favorite things to grow in the fall. It's super hardy. Oh, what is this? Maybe it's a chrysalis. I'm gonna take it off. Super hardy, tastes great into stews, soups, roasted salads. So I would like to have lots of kale to harvest this fall. I also direct sold some radishes here and there. Back here I have a GreenStalk full of carrots. These ones recently planted, I think 3 weeks ago, and all of them germinated. I have came around and thinned most of them to maybe 3 to 4 plants. Some of them has more than 3. But I try to give them some space so they can give us some nice carrots. Some only had few germination, like this one only has 2. I saw one that only had 1. Yeah, this guy only have 1, but we'll see. We'll see when we'll be able to harvest this as well. On this side, I have a plumeria tree that's about to bloom. I got this in Hawaii when I went there, a little stick, and then it's just grown this year. Hopefully have some blooms. And on this planter, I have a bean that is doing so much better in here than it did on this raised bed earlier in the spring. This one here is a dragon tongue bean. Let's see if we have any babies. I'm seeing lots of flowers. Yeah, there's a little one here. Oh, there's another one. Oh, how nice. Yeah, and we'll be able to harvest some before the weather gets really cold. That's really exciting. I love to have some more fresh beans in the fall. Here, more cabbage moth damage. Look at this, guys. Oh my goodness. Defoliating my daikon. I actually might harvest this. Look at this. Daikon is looking good. Let me pull it so we can see how it looks like. Not as big, but that's nice still. I am planning to pickle this or ferment this. Back here I have lots of flowers. They're looking so pretty. The dahlias are finally blooming and coming to life at this time. They're looking so gorgeous. I love dahlias. I forgot how much I like them. I almost didn't plant them this year because I was so focused on vegetables, but I'm glad I did, because it's important for you to plant for beauty too, so you like and enjoy coming to your garden. Also, the bees absolutely love them. There's one there, and they sleep in between the petals. This one was doing that. I'm not sure if I can get. Sometimes they go into these little places and sleep in there, and it's the most adorable thing in the morning. Lots of tomatoes on that plant, cherry tomatoes. I have some more tomatoes back there. And here are the asters that the bees are loving. I wanted to plant this all over the pond in the front side of our property, but the groundhogs kept just eating it down. But it would be so beautiful to have all of this with the goldenrods. They're blooming there right now. That's all right. The protected one here survived, and I'm glad the bees are happy and enjoying it. In this area we have more flowers and some random things. Over here I have already planted a cover crop to prepare the soil for next year. I have some daikon radish, some tiller radish growing here, and some red clover. I also sowed some wheat seeds, winter wheat, so let's see if they will germinate. The corn here, I was going to leave it for decoration, but it turned completely brown, so I'm just going to cut it off in the next few days too. Our butternut squash is ready to harvest, but I'm going to leave it here for a couple more days also. I want to see if the stem gets more brown. And I read that the longer you leave in the vine, the sweeter it gets. If you guys have any experience with that, I'd love to know about it in the comment section down below. This is my first time growing butternut squash. And we have a few more here in this vine that is not going to have time to mature. It's looking a little funny on here and there, but I'm still letting them grow in here, and we'll see whatever we can get. We'll be grateful. There's another one over there that's not going to mature, but I have a couple more I forgot to show on this side. One here, another one there, and two really big ones. Oh no, what's happening? There's something on the skin of that one. Oh, I think I might have to harvest that. I don't want to leave it in there and have it go sick or something. Let me see. It's hard to get there. Let's see if I'll be able to harvest. It is hard to get into this corner, and I saw a few snakes in here the other day, so I gotta be careful. I'm gonna check before I step in. Oh no, I wonder what this is on the skin, what that's happening. Oh, it's very hard. It's all over. Oh no. Are any of you guys familiar with this? You know what could be happening? Rot. Oh, that's so sad. This was such a huge butternut squash. Let me grab the other one. I hope the other one is okay. Oh my goodness. Where is the stem? Oh, the stem for this one is underneath. I'm gonna cut the whole plant because I don't know. Okay. I don't think there's any more fruit in there. I hope I didn't kill the other one there. This one is better. It doesn't look like there's any. I mean, it's starting to get that stuff in here. What could that be? Maybe it's not fully hard yet, but we'll enjoy it. I'll cure it and see what happens. Okay, and here are the two of them. Oh, they feel really heavy. I wonder how many pounds those are. But I'm a little sad about this. I was so excited about this squash. So I'm going to read it about it and see what could be. We've got to take those two inside. Together with this daikon as well. I didn't get a basket, but I'm going to put it on the table over there. And we're going to continue with the tour. Look how gorgeous those mums are. Those are called Homecoming, and I planted them in the spring too, just to add beauty to the garden. And oh my goodness, I love them. I want to plant them in the ground if I have a chance, maybe in October. I would like to see if I can have them over winter. I'm very excited about the dahlias too, and having planted flowers in the garden this year. You can see there's some okra there. I forgot to show. They're getting too big, so I'm going to let them just go and dry out so I can save it for seed. And speaking of flowers, let's walk to the other area of the garden right now. This is the newest addition to the garden this year. We just prepared this space, I think last month or a couple months ago. And I would like to plant mostly flowers here to attract some beneficial insects and pollinators. This is the first time we'll be planting the ground, so I was not sure how they would be, the soil would be, and veggies can be a bit more for heavy feeders. We also have a river right behind there, a stream that goes behind our property, and I don't want to be adding like fertilizers or anything to this area, so I decided to go with flowers for next year and see what happens, and hopefully just attract tons of beneficial insects and pollinators to pollinate our crops and defend our crops in the main garden there that's fully fenced. It has bird netting on the top so the deer can go in. So we'll see. We'll start like this and then keep moving on year by year. I might change my mind next year, so don't forget to subscribe if you want to see what's going to happen here. But here on the side I have some gorgeous marigolds growing. Gorgeous, so beautiful. This is a variety from Joni's. I think it's called giant marigolds. I can put the name on the screen. My goodness, they're so big. They're supposed to be a cut flower variety, and they're so prolific, and having this orange at this time in the garden just makes it look so nice. On this side here I have lots of foxgloves and straw flowers. The foxgloves will bloom next spring, which I think will make it look very beautiful too. And here I just have some things I rescued from the front beds that I was trying to grow there, the no-dig beds that did not work for me this year. If you watched last year what I tried to do there when I moved here last September. But the dahlias, I moved them here after I did these beds, and they're much happier. This one is full of buds and it's going to bloom soon. I also direct seeded some sunflowers. Those are dwarf sunflowers. They're about to bloom. So excited. We have some fall sunflowers in October. But this area is going to be reserved to all flowers next year. In this area here, I have already direct seeded some things to be cool flowers. So those are cool season hardy annuals, and they will stay here over winter as baby plants and start blooming and growing very early in the early spring next year. But it's a bit colder here, so this is an experiment to see how they would do. I have some calendula, snapdragons, bachelor buttons, more snapdragons, more bachelor buttons. Something here that didn't come up, I think I tried to do Dara, like purple carrot. And here I have some Indian summer rudbeckia. Here I have some more rudbeckia. Those are the smaller varieties. And I ran two random squashes that I must have put the seeds here because they look kind of placed and forgot about it. So I don't know what kind of squashes they will be, but they came up way too late and they were not gonna have time to flower or to produce anything for sure. It's full of buds, but I don't think you're gonna get anything from there. But I'm leaving them in there just to see what happens. Here in the tomato alley, that was the last video I posted. I was cleaning this up for our fall equinox party that we had here, and it was so nice. And after cleaning up and taking all the blight leaves, these plants really started doing much better. It's only been a week or so, but I could see more plants and the new growth is all nice and healthy. So we'll see, maybe we'll be harvesting tomatoes all the way into frost this year, which will be amazing. You can see I have lots of green fruit still, some bigger ones and some that are most ready to harvest. This is a Cherokee purple. It's a cat faced, but could still eat it. Some small little aromas in there. And here I have the beautiful, what's it called again? Sergeant peppers. What is this? It's a little damage in there, but it's still definitely edible. This plant is gonna die. It's not good, but we're gonna harvest this And this got completely splitted because it had lots of rain last week. But still though, pretty good to the time we are in the season this year. All of this, I forgot the name, I think it's Magic Bullet. They are related to the atomic grape from Brad's tomato farm. And they're doing good. Lots of the cherries are doing good. We have tons of scarlet runner beans in here growing all the way up on the trellis. The hummingbirds loved coming to the flowers. Now they have all turned into beans, so that's going to be an exciting fall harvest, hopefully. I forgot one thing, so we're going back to the other garden because I need to show you the update on the GreenStalk that we refreshed together. This yellow one right here, I want to show you that most of the seeds we sowed together have germinated too. So I have some, I think it's Jimmy-sai in here, which is an Asian green, some radishes, more radishes in the bottom. So everything is doing good. I have this beautiful purple bok choy growing here too, some nasturtiums. And these sunflowers here, I'm leaving for the birds. We're having a big migration going right now, I believe, so they're coming and eating everything that they can, which is nice. And then if there's anything left over, we'll save some seeds for us to plant for next year. Back here we have some sweet potatoes that I forgot to show a little earlier, and these are frost tender. So once the frost comes in October, which our frost is usually predicted to come, I am going to harvest all of this and plant garlic in this bed. So if you like to see how that's going to work, please don't forget to subscribe so we'll see how this garden will keep changing within the seasons. I'm also thinking to plant some garlic in my new terracotta GreenStalk that I haven't put up yet. So let me know what you think about that idea in the comment section down below. I originally wanted to plant it with cold hardy greens, which I have growing like little seedling trays, but I might just use those to replenish empty spots in these beds and then do a whole 3-tier little one GreenStalk like that, planted with garlic, and then maybe plant this bed with garlic here too and do a little experiment to compare the two and see how they do. I think that'll be fun. And if you want to see how this whole thing looked last year when we moved in, I'll put a video right here showing how this whole property looked when we moved last September. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.